Sorry, my daughter is counting in the back. Okay.
Great.
Sohana, welcome to New Journey Meditation Group. This is specifically Florida, USA, and there are quite a few Indians, people who join from India. So just to let you know about Sohana, I am so privileged, and this is my second time, so I'm more happy. I'm so privileged to introduce our wonderful speaker today. Sohana is very young but mature soul. She lives in Fremont, California. Sohana recently completed her master's in computer science from Florida Institute of Technology. She was so close. She was introduced to meditation when she was in third grade by simple breathing technique called Anapanasati Dhyan by her parents. So initially it was with a force. At a third grade, when you ask a kid to sit and do a meditation, it usually comes as a force. But soon it became a rule book for her, and she has to do the meditation every day. As a kid, it helped her grasp things in her education. As a student, it was more of a playful mind state with enough awareness. And as a young woman, she was able to enjoy things from much more mature perception through the wisdom she received. Through this wisdom, she was able to change fixed pattern in her mind and was able to vanish her flaws. So, Hannah, thank you so much for coming, giving us time. Over to you. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, and namaste everyone. So, Prachi, I'm so thankful to you and everyone here that you've given me this platform to share all my wisdom, that what all I had till date. And thank you so much for that. And yes, what all she said is true. And yeah, I'm Sohana. And second thing, I feel like I'm just meeting back my family. That is how I feel, because of I always feel Florida as my home, and that is where I've started my journey in United States. So like much more grateful to that state, and I think that that's where I've even spent I've even grabbed so much knowledge directly from Guru, and that chance Florida has given me, because the last time when Patriji visited the United States, and it was actually almost 200 miles away from my place, but still I just took that determination. I was like, no, I have to go somehow. I got a ride, so I went to the place and I actually stayed there with the help of Srikant Devigaru. So like for almost 4 days I was with Patrick, and I was like, every second it was a wisdom session for me. So I was like, I kept on grabbing things like consistently. So I was like, that was a energy boom. So that is when everything
True.
actually started changing in me, and like I have started becoming or entering into a very different phase of life, so which was completely a spiritual side. Then that is when I actually realized that how much I have ignored all this spiritual knowledge, and why did I actually do this. I started questioning myself so much. Then later on I've realized, okay, I realized that I have wasted so much time ignoring all this higher knowledge, but today I feel so secure and safe only just because of this knowledge. Irrespective of who is with you, who is behind you, it doesn't matter. So it's always the knowledge and wisdom you hold. So I was like much surprised to see things manifesting, and I can tell you a greater experience that what I've really actually faced. So when I was with Padriji, I was a Bhakt of Sai Baba. Okay, I was a very good devotee of Sai Baba, and my name is also Sai Sohana. So naturally, I'm like always, I used to do Baba Satcharitram, the Parayanam thingy. Like I used to keep doing all this like so much. But one day in Florida, somehow I don't know, it was a food time, and sir cooked some food and he was serving people. I didn't know. I was just sitting on the couch and he came and he served. I just started seeing, instead of his face, I started seeing Sai Baba there. I was like so surprised, what is happening? And I was completely frozen out. And I had a plate in my hand and I was just staring like this. I stood there for a couple of minutes. I was stuck. And then I was like, maybe my hallucination or something. I'm just doing this. I'm not sure. Then I was like, I started thinking, oh, my spiritual journey is actually going into some other way, so I need to actually check on this. Well, okay, that night I was sitting alone. Everyone were discussing, chit chatting in the living space, so I was like, okay, I wanted to meditate somehow. So especially with sir, and that was the only dream I had. So I was like, okay, I'll see how this how this energizes and how this aura would feel like, especially. So I was like, okay, I just had a thought in my mind. The very next second, he was like, don't waste time. Go meditate in that room. Then that's his actually room where he even also meditates. So the moment I just went in there, all the people immediately came down into the room and everyone sat in meditation at that night. I was so surprised. Everything changed, and that is when then the after 2 days when I was about to leave, then that is when he just recollected everything what all he taught me in a very different way. And so I was like, okay, the only thing I've understood is to let go of suffering, or for whatever it is, we have to be very open to receive things. If you're not open to receive things, though how big guru you have, it's waste. When you're not receiving it, it's completely pointless that they do enough efforts, because they are teaching this whole world. So it doesn't matter, you are just one single person for them, but they are really considering it also as a great privilege. So why don't we actually consider, why don't we actually be always open to receive things? Why are we not selfless? The only reason for suffering is being selfish. So today's topic is all about suffering. So why people actually going to sufferings? Suffering, sort of mental suffering, physical suffering, emotional suffering. For no reason people get emotionally triggered. For no reason they get lost in their thinking. Or for some people it's always consistently health issues. So instead all of this, what best can we do to get rid of this? So what are the real time experiences that we have? So here, in this suffering, I would actually start telling about Gautam Buddha. That is all we actually know about. Suffering is always from Gautam Buddha. And Gautam Buddha, it's not, see, whenever a student is ready, teacher appears. So this is what I used to believe, but this is what I started experiencing now. So it's just that so true, I can tell it, because when I was to be frank, yeah, I was held in a situation and life was completely paused. So I was just in the same cycle of life. So I was like, I just wanted to get rid of this. And I want my life to go it in the natural flow. And why is this happening for me? But the moment I've realized that I have ignored so many things to learn, so it just locked me up. So unless and until you learn, it won't let you go ahead. So it's just that we design our lives, we make packages, we make situations. So in this lifetime, in this age, I'm going to learn this. If not, going ahead is not possible. So this is how we lock up. But we give multiple chances for ourselves. If we miss at this point of life, then we can do it somewhere around 30s. If we miss it at 30s, again in 40s. We do this. But someday, that's the last point. And that you get locked up. So that is what we feel as suffering. So whatever it is, we are not satisfied with our logic is always suffering. So that is why our guru also says that beyond mind, if you have to let go, or if you have to get rid of the suffering, you have to go beyond mind. So it's always mind dominant. We are not heart dominant. Yes, we have to use mind, but that doesn't mean you always have to be mind dominant. So what's the difference between this? So we can see this in the very live example of Gautam Buddha. So when he was so for me, if you don't believe or trust this, back in India, in my mom's place, at my mom's place, we have a 10 feet Buddha statue. So, irrespective religions, I was always surprised. Why do they have this statue? How is this connected to me? What best I can do? I never realized. Every day while going to school, colleges, I used to just make fun of the statue. I used to take pictures. I used to say hi and bye and play in whichever way I want. I never realized its significance. But when I came here, my mom is a very good Buddha follower, and she's like so much into it, like so much in the sense, she to be frank, she has excelled in all of the theories and concepts in experience. So she has worked on them, and she grabbed enough knowledge, and she's basically a businesswoman, and started as an entrepreneur. So she's always like, yeah, she never comes out, she never preaches, but for her, she applies it for all the subordinates she have, for everyone she has. She'll definitely help them with all the possible solutions that she could do. So the moment I was held up in my life, I just found a book in my bag, because I've traveled from India, right? So I'll not have much luggage with me, but somewhere in my book stuff, accessory stuff, I found a couple of spiritual books that I got it from India. So in that, I found a book called Path to Enlightenment. So it was in very simple language, very easy for every person to understand. So I started reading that book because I was free, free. I had no work to do. So I just started reading. And to be frank, I was like, after a point, I have started obsessing Gautam Buddha so much. So I started loving his concepts, and everything gave me a lot of peace. And for everything, I started seeing hope back again, faith back again. I was like, wow, this is so good. Then the moment, so yeah, I was about to graduate 6 months before. So I was actually about to give a driving test in Florida. So I was practicing, and we were like, okay, I just had a learners. So we were just driving. In Florida is very uncertain at weather times. So I don't know when it rains. I don't know when it is sunny. So we were like, okay, after our class timings, we were like, okay, let's go for a ride, and let's just give it a try. So I was driving. We just missed our way, and it was a one way and heavy rain, and we couldn't even see something ahead. So we were like surprised, and it's a elephant crossing way. So we were like, this is not safe to drive ahead. So we thought, okay, there is some gate and which looks little Asian. So what is this? Bolke we just entered into the gate, and I was in the driving seat. And it was raining, and we couldn't even get down and change the seat, and it was that horrible. But still, we just took that detouring thingy, and we just entered into the gate, and we just drove little ahead. The moment I've just entered in there and traveled, like, drove some maybe a half mile or so, that is when I started seeing a very huge, the same golden Buddha statue that what we had back in my home. A very huge. I was like, oh my god, where did I end up? Like, I was so surprised, because that was my first Buddhist temple. So that is why I was so much excited. And I didn't know. I've lived there for 3 years, and I never knew where were all these temples and like what was happening. But I was like, okay, it's a nature's call, or like this is up for a very great purpose, and my journey is actually getting started now. So I can't really take it for granted. So I can't just do this. So I was like, okay, the moment I just got down there, and I was like, okay, fine, now I just wanted to explore everything. I've explored, and I really loved everything, and the way especially they worship is so good. Because none of our I can say so sure that in none of our worshipping or prayings, we never have a time, or there is no set of time decided to sit and meditate. For them, it's so sure that at least for 15 to 20 minutes they will meditate, and they'll have to meditate. So I was like, okay, exactly at meditation time I went her there. So I was like surprised to explore their type of meditation also. And I was like, oh god, I really felt it's just Gautam Buddha doing it to me. And he's just preaching, and that is how I was vibing so high. So I was like, okay, this is so good. And then I've started living a complete simple life, very simple life, and I've even experienced how it would be, or what best it can give me, or what best I can learn. Yeah, I'll just tell you end of the class. So I was like, okay, fine. Then so much obsessed, influenced, and everything. Then I moved to California. I moved to California, and here I never stopped it. I knew that I understood every state in California is having some set of Buddhist temples, so no surprise. I can just go there, meditate, come back. Because here, being college student, also you'll have to share rooms with multiple people, and sometimes I feel, for a change, I just want to go and take space more for myself and just meditate and come back. So that is what best I could do. So then when I was completely influenced or so, I was like, I thought of taking this decision ki, okay, this is California and full of mountains. So I can just find a mountain, go there, happily settle down there as a monk. So I don't have to do all this. So just a simple life, happy life. And why not, like, why all this? Because to be frank, yeah, I was a very loyal, luxurious, and most pampered single child baby girl. So for my parents, so I never had to go through all this. But for the first time, I was much surprised looking back and seeing I have a guru in my life, and I am actually gaining knowledge, and my journey has become a spiritual journey. And what is actually happening? I wanted to find, like, where do I end up in this? Seriously, am I going to a mountain? And that is what my heart is asking for. Like, oh God, I just started thinking, and I was in two minds. That is when I think Mad Buddha publishers in Instagram, they have posted a book called Buddha's Wife. And that book, the moment I saw, I don't know it, I just felt it's for me. That's it. So I never even gave it a second thought. I've just ordered it on Amazon. The very next day it arrived. I've started, and that's the first book that I've read completely just in a week. And I still feel that's the only best thing that I've got in my life, and which changed my mind. Because always we have seen Gautam Buddha only in the fame of Gautam Buddha, but never in his past. If we would have understand that, to be frank, it should be very simple and easy for us to understand all his concepts. So it's no surprise once you understand what Siddhartha is, because he is also a human being like us. He is also a man who is just, these days there are no kings and kingdoms. Everyone is a king and everyone has their own kingdom. So it's just that I started feeling, oh yes, you are a king and you have a kingdom. So it's the same story. He's not just, because in most of the Hindu scriptures I see there is a special person, he took a life for special purpose, and just boom, everything is happening. And there is no start, there is no end. I'm always surprised what do I learn out of the scripture. But in the scripture, I really felt he is a human being like us, born naturally, not avatar Purush or so. So it's like even he got married, he had a son, he had a very good family, very pampered kid. To be frank, just think of something. Being a king, what was the necessity to go into forest and start a spiritual journey? This was the question which stuck me in my mind. Like, I was like, okay, I really have to think about this. So because always I used to question myself, that why am I actually meditating? What am I getting out of this? So this is how I used to do. It's just that end of the day, you just have to think, see, there are many people in this world. Not everyone meditates, but everyone is surviving. Everyone is successful in their own ways. So why, if you just check in deep, it's just their presence of mind in this present moment. Some people, based on their past life sadhana, they are very attentive in this present moment. Based on our sadhana, we are not that much attentive, so we need this journey. So it's always that we are in this journey, we are not we are not up to the mark. So when we are not up to the mark in the levels of consciousness, when we are not fully aware, that's the only root cause of suffering. Whichever suffering you go through every day, if you just take one scenario, see today in this day, if you have met with by chance three set of sufferings, take them into consideration. Sit in the evening, take time for yourself, and start looking back. What made you end up in this suffering? You will find three different reasons, three mistakes that we have done. End of those three different mistakes, there is only one mistake: ignorance, being absent, being not fully present in this moment. So that is what it always pushes us. If you realize this, and that's the only thing you actually have to reach. So people have taken years and years for their change, for their evolvement or anything. It's just that to just go beyond what? Beyond mind. Because mind is something that if you grow, it grows. If you don't grow, it can grow. In whichever way you want to take it, it can come in that way. Your heart is not that way. It doesn't work in that way. So it's completely different. It's an universal source that you have been provided with. So when that is the case, it will never let you go off the track. So that is why heart chakra is the middle chakra. It's the connectivity to this physical reality, to the higher reality. So it's just a simple thingy that being unaware, we never realize, because see, most of us have been habitual eating meat since the time we are born, or since the time we have been growing by our parents also, because it's a natural thing, because you have to be fully or your body should be fully fit and everything. You need all the nutrients. So what you'll have to consume meat, right? So in that case, what best can we do? Alternative. If we see, I was a heavy meat eater, to be frank. I was a heavy meat eater, and I've never imagined how would I be without eating meat. But today it's so surprising. It's been almost 4 years that I've stopped it, and it's just a thing. I understood it's an addiction, a taste addiction. So we are addicted to the taste, whatever. It's just that, and food is a regular thing, and we have a non-escaping reason that it's a food and I need it for my body. So we keep eating it, eating it, eating it. So what happens is some sort of sources are given, or are feeded into our body, are feeded to us. So when that is happening, we are ending up with the same level of consciousness. So how is consciousness related? See, if from the day one, if you are trained to be in the utmost awareness, you would have known the difference, right? So we are not trained like that, because no one at least cared, or no one at least considered. Because every parent is like Shuddhodhan, King Shuddhodhan. So it's like, my son he always wants his son to be a warrior. So he never wanted his son to be a saint. So every parent is that. Every parent. So that is when Buddha says that every parent must be like Amrapali. She's the only woman who bravely gets her kid and hands over to Gautam Buddha. He's all yours. So no one does that. So it's just that if you are trained by your childhood also, you would have known the reality. What is the difference? What best awareness levels you can be? So why are not being in that? The moment I have stopped eating meat, I have upgraded. I have moved to little more consciousness, little more awareness. Every second, every moment I used to witness, every cell functioning in my body, I used to realize, oh, here now this is happening, here now this is happening in my body. And my dream, I always wanted to be a doctor, and I never knew that I would end up like this. I was like, okay, I am no more a physical body doctor. Now I'm a mental body doctor. I am like, okay, fine. But with your mental abilities, it's so easy to achieve anything, anything. You can scan your body, you can scan your everyone's body, because everything is self-reflection. It's very easy. You can understand anything. You don't need that anatomy, or you don't need everything. It's just unnatural. So from then, I think I never had a health issue. And from then, to be frank, I started hating hospitals. I for basic checkups also, I don't tend to at least go there, and that is what me and my mom, we keep on fighting every day, because I tell her, give me 1 week, I know I can heal myself, and I don't want to go anywhere. She's like, she's little worried, she's little scared, because I live alone, so you can't just take it for granted. So she's like, no, you have to go get it checked up once. But I'm like, no. So actually, it's just that I don't have a health issue to get checked up always. But my mom's curiosity and anxiety, she keeps pushing me that, no, you're just getting thinner, you're just getting leaner. So this is what she keeps telling. But it's just that the moment you realize, you start hating. That is when it's a realization point. And then what happens? You forgive it, and you get into a compassion mode. What compassion does? Compassion is very sweetest feeling, which helps you letting go things very easily. So I've realized doctors are also like us. They have no clue. They've just studied what are there in the books, and they've just experimented. So they have no clue. If you just go ask them, you are delivering, you are helping in this delivery process, a baby and child. Can you actually tell me, when you're just separating two bodies, how is this body actually getting alive? The baby's body, can you explain me? They have no clue. Say mother is helping it, then why is mother not stopping when baby is when baby is about to die or so? With uncertainties, the mother has to stop if she has that capabilities, because everyone is a human, everyone is almost with the same level of consciousness, so no one is trying to go beyond. So when you are always holding your sufferings, you can't travel beyond. So always, I can only tell one thing is, you have to be adventurous. If you want to be adventurous, you have to be identityless. You have to be selfless. So if you carry all these with you, you get heavier. You can't step ahead. You can't get up and step ahead. Everything is heavier onto your head. So how can you travel? It's not so easy. So most of the times, the only thing which is holding us is our thought process, our thinking. So most of the time we think that only with the thinking we can solve our problems, so we keep on thinking, thinking, thinking. So it's like we end up nowhere. Yeah, all the possibilities we consider, yes or no, or maybe, or what. So this is what we end up in. So this is what I've realized in myself, what is happening: infinite thinking, overthinking. Only I think, only my thinking can solve these problems. Does this really work out? Probably no. Why can't you stay in silence for 2 or 3 minutes, and why can't you let the situation unfold by itself? It's just matter of a clear one thought, heavy intention. So why are we not doing that? So from then, I just started doing only one thing, just giving time, giving it time, give it time. That's it. It unfolds, because everything doesn't need your presence, or everything doesn't need your involvement in things to work out. So it's just that you have already planned, you have already designed everything before coming onto this planet. You have the script ready. All you got to do is, when you connect to yourself, you can see the blueprint. Okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. And when that's happening, yes, definitely you feel like with many mood swings, with so much disturbed feelings. Yeah, that's so true. We have the symptoms, fixed symptoms, when you are in the process of attaining truth or in the path of liberation. And that's so true, because Gautam Buddha, for 7 years, each 1 year, he dealt with one sort of emotion, and then he started cleansing himself. 1 year, one emotion cleansed. 1 year, one emotion cleansed. He used to stay with it for 1 year, and then he used to clean himself completely. So it's just that, yeah, you go through many mood swings, like many, you start fighting in your mind for so much, because you have never trained, or you have never told that this is the reality, this is where you can be. But then now you are knowing it by yourself. So you don't have a safe or secure zone to again put yourself. So most of the time we don't like to change our thinking pattern, or we are never open to receive things. If you are open to receive things, you have to change your thinking pattern, thought process. If that happens, you think you're losing yourself. That is what we think. So it's always what we are is where we think. So in sufferings, the best thing what works out is when you accept suffering as an opportunity, that is where it can help you. So it's always, why don't we accept suffering as an opportunity? So you are lacking in something. Universe is in the energy form, you are in the matter form. This is metaphysics. So you are in the matter form, universe is in the energy form. When this is happening, there is no proper communication. What you are lacking in this journey, what you are lacking in this process, universe is unable to provide you effectively. But it is giving you signals. How can it help you? Through other people in your life, through other situations. It can only create the energy pattern, either positive or negative. So when that is happening, see, it's always in the Google Maps. If you just go in the wrong road, it shows you the red path, that you're on the wrong way. I think this happens in India, not here. So just a second. So if you're going in the right way, it shows the green direction. That is what it is. The same way, when it is, the situation is negative situation, you are not feeling it comfortable. It's all because maybe you're lacking in something. Immediate thing, it's not complaining, it's not reacting, it's always checking yourself, that what am I lacking and what best I can learn out of the situation. So only root cause is being open to receive and being enough confidence. You're always safe and secure. You are a god. So when the time we always feel, or when we think that we are just a matter, we are just a body, we have no source of energy, then when you think that, you are only limiting yourself to this physical reality. You're not letting yourself walk out of that. Nothing you lose. You don't lose your pride, you don't lose anything. No one points you out that you are a sage or a saint. Oh, this big businessman actually turned into a sage. No one says that. If they say also, you should have enough guts to take it. That's absolutely fine. Being a prince of Shakya clan, people started calling him as Shakyamuni. He accepted it. But after 2 years, they again invited him. They again requested him. And they always want him to be a king, Shakyamuni as their king. See, it's just this much. See, if you choose the path with ethics and morals, no matter, it might take some time, but you will reach the destination. The day he left out from his house, the next day was his coronation. He was about to become a king, but he ignored it, he refused it the day before he left from his house. came back after 7 years. Again, everyone wanted him again to be as a king, not his brother, not anyone, just him. So it's just that, yeah, success is it's going to come anyways, and it is going to be there. So it's just that the path you choose, there are two paths. One path is a temporary, one path is a permanent. Temporary is just checking it for this physical reality. Permanent is checking for lifetimes. Temporary is limited for only this one life. Permanent is for lifetimes. How are you planning your lifetime? Next life, what do you want? We just think about, okay, this weekend I have a party, I need to just dress up myself like this, I have to look like this, we do this. But why are we not just thinking and planning that, okay, next lifetime I want to be a politician, I want to be a chief minister of a state, and why can't I be a spiritual chief minister? Why can't I provide everyone with this? By then this is already an Aquarian's age. So you have to keep helping yourself with providing enormous knowledge. See, all the time, no one is going to be with you. No one will come with you and keep on giving you knowledge that, yes, this is what it is, this is what I can give you, and this is what knowledge I have. No one can give you that. All you have to help yourself is utilize PMC so much. People who don't have time to read books, it's a complaint, just a complaint that we usually give, but you have to actually take time to read books. And books, trust me, they really surprise you. They surprise you, because I am not a studious person at all. I hate books. But today, this is a laptop and I can't show you the inverted side. I just have a library here. So always when I'm moving, this is the only hardest part I feel. Like and you know what? I keep reading multiple books at a time. Just that I just read one page for a day. Read one page for a day. Everything connects. That day, what all I'm reading. Every author, that if I'm just reading about this liberation, in one book I see one perception, in another book I see one more perception. This is what it happens, and never I have been in this mismatched way or mismatched track. So everything is like connecting. So I was like, wow, this is really surprising. So that is when I was like, okay, because I was so much dependent on Patriji. I was like proper Sishya types. So he was like, you can't depend on a person like this. You should have your own freedom to explore things. But he never threw me out. He never pushed me out. But he showed me a path, what best I can do to help myself. So I was like, okay, read books. After reading books, to be frank, today, now I have been told that start writing a book. I was so surprised. Yes, because I have a habit of auto writings. Yeah, in meditation, each person goes through one or the other thing. For me, it's auto writing. I don't know. I keep writing. And I sometimes I feel, why am I writing this much? But every time I just read it, I feel so happy that I surprise myself there. Oh, I am really gaining knowledge, and this is something I have never heard about. Okay, I am actually working in a right way. So I never stopped it. That made me very interesting. I was like, okay. And after reading Buddha's Wife, I started seeing the golden Buddha whenever I close my eyes. My body used to turn with all the golden statue with the full golden light. I was always with the very warmth energy, which was always keeping me safe, secure. And if that is happening with me whenever I'm closing my eyes, I used to get started feeling in this way that, okay, now the knowledge is coming and they're providing it to me. I have to get ready for this. I have to be very open and I have to receive this, and I cannot sidetrack myself thinking about something else. So I used to switch off all my devices, only just close my eyes and sit and do this. Then I started capturing all my experiences, and in the recent sessions also I was actually suggesting everyone, whatever you do, in whichever session you join, you will have at least set of days, minimum 3 days. maximum it's 41 days, 21 days. So why don't you start writing everything what is happening yourself? When you check back and read every page of it, you yourself as an author, and that book is to be frank, maybe a very traditional scripture sort of, and that is how you feel. So I just started feeling myself, and every day I used to write. I used to send pictures to my dad. My dad, inbuilt, is a spiritual person, but he's never this much into it. The moment I've started sending him, he was surprised. Oh, my daughter is an author. He was like, okay, you don't need any publishers, and I am doing it, and this is all mine. So I was like, okay, fine, because this is so surprising for him because I'm not a studious person. So I was like, okay. And then after so long, he started seeing me doing this, and he was a little surprised. But to be frank, end of this, all I could say is the best solution is compassion circle. How, I don't know how many of you guys have read that book, but to come out of the suffering in this physical reality, yes, definitely you need time for yourself, at least for 5 minutes in a day. But apart from that, all you need is connectivity with your next person. How better you're maintaining your circles, how better you're maintaining your relationships. So that is what Yashodhara does. Princess Yashodhara, when Siddhartha left her, she was a lot of grief and she couldn't come out. And because she was the one who sacrificed many things and married him, but she didn't expect that this would happen. But then what she does is, yes, I'm about to explain compassion circle. So what she does is, she everyone whomsoever comes across her in the kingdom, though it's sevak or though it's ministers also, whomsoever, she's to stop everyone and just keep telling on her story again and again, again and again. Everyone, after a month, they got irritated. Why is this lady, torturing us like this? This is not the way. And they because as she's a princess, no one couldn't say anything opposing to her. But Mahaprajapati, the stepmother of Siddhartha, she's one another big lady. I love her. So she actually tells that she calls Yashodhara and tells that, see, you don't have to keep telling it to people consistently. People are bored of your story. So she says, better stop it. Don't do this. So what Mahaprajapati does is, she calls everyone in the kingdom and she asks everyone to make a compassion circle, starting with women first. So compassion circle is nothing but all these women in the kingdom, irrespective what they are or what their profession is. So everyone has to come join the circle. Morning 15 minutes, evening 15 minutes, make a circle. Initially they made Yashodhara sit in the middle of the circle. So they used to start just telling something what they feel inside for suffering, what they're suffering. They used to just utter one after the other, one after the other. And initially Yashodhara wasn't allowed to talk. Her duty is to just listen. So after listening, at some point of time, what she does, she refuses to sit in the middle of the circle. She joins the circle. So it's their duty. Every morning they just tell what is giving them that suffering feeling, and the other person would suggest them with a solution they have. So the same day, evening, again they used to join, and in the compassion circle they used to show gratitude, feel gratitude for what all they did today and what all hurdles they had that they had admitted in the morning, and they used to share that how they had came across all these. So this is the compassion circle. So it's just that you make a circle. Today we are talking like this. We are not uttering it out, but in everyone's mind we have some or the other thing to know, or some or the other thing, poking us. But still we are all in a circle, sharing our knowledge, sharing our wisdom, and this is also sort of a compassion circle. And then what happens is, later on, even the men in the group also joins, men in the kingdom also joins. Then it becomes a very big compassion circle. So in the compassion circle, all it can be told is, just like Kisa Gautami, the mustard seed woman. So if you have suffering, you don't have to keep on worrying about it, thinking about it. Start going to the other people. Just listen to them. Not judge. Just listen. How better you can listen? Just listen. This is all art of listening, art of communication. So this is just, if you keep listening to people, you understand the multiple possibilities. And eventually, if you are, you might be in what kind of situation or suffering you are, if you just go to other person and tend to hear, you just get to hear a solution from them, not some irrelevant stories. The relevant solution only you will get, because the intensity, the energy you're releasing it out, the way you're suffering, it's all just that it attracts a solution. So better you have a communication, have a release of energy. Don't do that energy cycle within you, keeping on thinking, so which doesn't help. So this is just an intro about, in a basic terms, like I think I have helped you with the little suffering, but not in deep, because to go through we have eightfold path and six paramitas, everything. So probably in coming forward somewhere we can catch up again with this wisdom with PPTs, and that's little in deep. So I just wanted to give an introduction about this. So
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. I love listening to you, and I have that nobody yet got the story of that mustard seed woman. It is such an interesting story. I've heard from her also two times now. But you just wanna, if you don't mind,
Oh
would you
yeah, of
tell
course.
that story to everybody?
So Mustard Seeds woman is a woman. Her actual name is Kisa Gautami. So Kisa Gautami is a very inspiring and sort of a lady, because she was the one who had a baby, infant baby, and her baby died. So she was like, she was just panicked and worrying, and she just wanted to find a hope or faith that my baby just died and it's an infant baby, newborn baby. So some or the other way, I just want my baby alive. So from everyone she hears that there is a great person sitting under the tree called Gautam Buddha. Go to him, he might help you, giving the life back. So she really trusts that and goes there and asks him that everyone is telling you're so big person, then can you actually help me with your baby? Sorry, can you actually help me with this baby getting it alive back? So he says, yeah, definitely I can help you with giving a baby back with the life, but before that, I have something for you. Then he says, he asks her to go to every door, every house, and ask them that if there is no death, ask them to give some mustard seeds. Go collect mustard seeds from a house where there is no death. So she goes to the every door, and then end of the day she realizes she gets exhausted and tired. She comes back to Buddha and says that, I have been to every door, each and every door, and in every house the death is common, I'm hearing, so no one gave me. Then that is when she realizes that she accepts the fact, yes, baby is dead and I'm in suffering, and I understand and I accept this. Then after that she goes, she does all the the last rituals. After that she comes back to Buddha and asks, you're so blissful, you're so happy, so kind, humble, with the no family members at all. So where are you actually from? What is your story? And can I know? And I want to be like you. So what should I do if I want to be this happy like you? And that is how this book has been written, Buddha's wife. So when Buddha says, yes, I can show you the path, so he'll actually send her to Mahaprajapati and Yashodhara into the woman Bauddha Sangha. So when the woman Kisa Gautami entered into their cabin, that is when they start telling all this story that Siddhartha was like this, not Gautam Buddha stories, from Siddhartha to Buddha, and that is all this book is. So Kisa Gautami, after listening, she spreads it to this world, and she says, I have heard and I have spread it. So if you hear it, so make sure you spread it. So this is all about this book.
Very interesting. Now I'm so tempted to read this book. And you know what? One of the thing that you just said, that you used to read a book, or you still do probably, like multiple books at in one day. So I've been reading that book, Conversation with Mahavatar Babaji, and I'm so tempted to read two other books. And I'm like, okay, no, let me finish this and then I will start. But now, but it's like it is at that point. I'm like, no, I really want to start that book. And I'm always hesitated. So now I think after listening to you, I'll go and open up the second book and I'll read one page from, then I'll read one page from
Yeah,
here.
like that's actually a good thing, but for most of us this is what happens. Like we differentiate everything. Like Mahavatar Babaji is one set of track, Buddha is one set of track, but end of the day
True.
what I realized is
They're all same.
Mahavatar Babaji is the latest incarnation of Gautam Buddha. So stabilized
Oh,
incarnation.
is
So
it
both
okay?
are same. So if you started from there,
I just learned about Yoganand and Lahadi Baba because I was reading Yoganand before, and then I came to know about Lahadi Baba, and then now after reading Mahavatar Babaji, I came to know that he was the guru of both of them. So it's like how wonderfully it is all connected. So I'm just so tempted to read more and more now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So friends, it is almost 9:54. I know you all have questions and you have been appreciating Sohana. It is an amazing journey. What the amazing thing what she said, I think nobody ever talked about that. Can you think about your lifetimes rather than just thinking about life, right? So now I would have to think what I want to be in my next lifetime, or probably if I want to come on the earth or not. That. So, but it was a wonderful session, wonderful story. Yes, new purpose for us. So Hannah, you want to go ahead and do the meditation, maybe 30 minutes, and we'll have last 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do the,
Sure. So this
if you can
one,
spare extra 5 minutes.
oh, so we gotta end this up by what time is it for you? It's
So it's 9.
9:55 for
Okay.
you,
So
right?
for you, it is 7:55, right?
Yeah. No,
Or
6:55.
6:55.
6:55.
So you have to end it by 7:20.
Okay. Cool.
7:20 or 7:25.
Sure.
And then if you will do the 5 minutes of question answer, if you have time, you can extend it, or we can just take few and later on I can message
Yeah.
you the rest of the questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have the music or you want me to play the music?
Would you play the music? I would love to have some different music.
Yep.
Let me give you.
Actually, I think you should make me a host to share the work.
I do it. Okay. I usually do it. Let me, I did. Would this work or you want me to? Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
My voice and I
Yes,
think you
the music
guys
is
are
good.
up for guided meditation, right?
Huh?
I think you guys are up for guided meditation.
We all want to hear you. So
Okay. I got you. Yep. So I think everyone
music is
is
very slow.
very slow. Just a second. Let me check it here. Oh yeah. Now?
It's a it's a light sound now. This is good.
Okay. So I think everyone is aware of the posture, but still, let me repeat it. So wherever you are, come back, stay there, close your eyes, clasp your fingers, cross your feet, and all you got to do is watch your breath.